Here we go. As always, welcome to Jackal's Wrestling Entertainment Pod. I'm Caleb here, and here is
Jeremiah.
kicking us off. We're going to jump right into a busy week ahead. A lot of awesome wrestling, a lot of cool matches and moments. We'll cover Royal Rumble on this episode. That's why it's recorded on Sunday. But starting off on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, we started off with a Seth Rollins promo that Gunther, the ring general, would come out and interrupt Seth. What did you think of this Seth promo and him talking about the CM Punk situation and everything? What's your opinion on this?
I love the direction it was going because, Steph's just out there, he's getting you hyped up for Rumble. He's talking about Rumble, saying, he can go after the belt. He helped Cody win. Or, in other words, calling Gunther a placeholder, saying the only reason Gunther's had that belt is because he hasn't wanted it back yet. And again, like you said, going over his loss to CM Punk, a frustration building that we'll most definitely be talking about later on.
That's true. Then Logan Paul would come out and he would declare himself for the Royal Rumble. And we saw Logan Paul in the Royal Rumble later on in the week. We'll get to that. But what did you think of Logan Paul making his presence known on his debut Raw episode and declaring himself in the Royal Rumble?
I thought it was awesome just how he say up. I was expecting to see him at that moment when they're going back and forth, and then like the back and forth, and Gunther was, said that's his pick, who he wants to see win Royal Rumble. He wants Logan Paul in the ring. I don't know how that felt for Logan Paul though in the long one.
I don't know either. It'd be an interesting match, Logan Paul and Gunther. I think it would have a chance to steal a show if we ever saw that fun.
I agree with you.
Next up, we had a World Tag Team Championship match where the War Raiders would retain against Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. The story of this match was not as much for retain. The story was more along the lines of Dom took Finn's rematch clause, and then the story after the match, after the fact, was JD McDonough got severely injured in this. What's your opinion on this tag title match?
Yeah, a good match back and forth, like you said. Dom, that's most of the story I think we'll see play out possibly this Monday night. And just a shout out to JD, best well wishes that he recovers from this, and man, just the toughness though to sustain what we found out. 2 broken ribs and a collapsed lung, and he finished that match. And just really just a shout out to JD. High regards.
Very impressive. Next up, we had Xavier Woods versus Rey Mysterio. In this match, we saw Xavier Woods' family torn on him. That's how much of a dorkbag Xavier Woods is coming. What's your opinion on this? His own family torn on the man.
In all honesty, I think they're a little bit out of line. No one's actually heard these guys out yet. But I want to point out something we were talking about. We saw the miscues the week before between Kofi and Rey Mysterio, but there were no miscues, no botches. Everything went well timed between Rey and Xavier. I think just maybe some better chemistry there. I think maybe Kofi and Rey need to work a little bit more together. But I think really a stellar match. Really put the spotlight on Xavier singly, I want to point out.
And something we talked about, Kofi has to get used to walking as a heel. Xavier Woods has done that before. There's not the Kofi getting used to being a heel and walking dirty. Xavier Woods has done that before. He's walked as a heel a lot more than Kofi Kingston.
Exactly. I mean, Kofi, a big part of, we know, not taking away from Kofi, he's awesome. We know what he does in ring. But a big part of that offense was the boom clamps, the rallying of the crowd. So it's going to take Kofi a little bit to fall into this kind of new fighting style. But we know how good Kofi is, and he will. But just, Xavier Way, I thought really good match on Monday night myself.
Next up, we had a Jey Uso entrance, a promo, got the crowd into it, got them hyped for Royal Rumble, and we'll speak more on Jey Uso most definitely. But what did you think about this promo, getting everyone hyped, saying he's going to win the Royal Rumble? What did you think of that?
I just thought it was great, and exactly like you said, we'll speak later on it, but so far, just see Jey Uso comes out after that, heartbreaking loss Saturday night against Gunther, declares for Royal Rumble, says he is going to win, says he's going to WrestleMania, and he will meet Gunther again if he wins Royal Rumble, and just the crowd right now is just so hot behind Jey Uso. It's awesome to see.
Next up, we had Naomi and Bianca, the women's tag champions, take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. What did you think of this match? This was a pretty good back and forth match.
I agree with you. Awesome match. We're seeing, I think, Liv and Raquel get proposition themselves in line for a shot at the tag titles. the win on Smackdown last week, and then the win this past week against the tag champions non-Taito.
They're moving up in the tag team ranks.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see. I mean, they are former tag champions quite a few years ago now, but under a lot different circumstances. So shout out to everyone involved, but Liv still continuing some remnants of dominance, even not as champion.
That's very true. Next up, we saw Paul Heyman come out. Paul Heyman delivered a stellar promo, as always, talking about Roman Reigns, talking about him winning the Royal Rumble, and then he was interrupted by none other than Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre left us with words of telling Paul to tell his buddy, his guy, that he was coming for him, and everyone thought he was talking about Roman Reigns. He was talking about CM Punk.
Yeah, again, like you said, great promo by Wiseman. Drew, as we all very well know, holds a grudge. Even though he's not supposed to fight Punk or Wumbo, he can do whatever he wants, and he did. And Reigns, too. He still holds a grudge against Roman. He blames him because that was Clash at the Castle 22. I don't know if Drew will ever let it go. He threatened Wiseman. We'll see if more builds to that in the coming future. But yeah, awesome promo by both Wiseman and Drew.
Next up, we had our Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. This was a main event match. Not the main event segment on Raw, but a main event match. I thought a really good, highly contested matchup between Drew and Sami. And Sami still has yet to pick up a victory over Drew McIntyre in his career. What did you think of this one?
Like you said, awesome match, great back and forth. I love Sami, but I don't know if Sami's ever going to get that win over Drew. Right now, it has not went in his favor, but like I said, Drew, you know what he's capable of. The man's just full of bitterness and anger. It's really hard for anyone to really kind of top the motivation of this man. But what about, I want to ask you about after the match, though. What about Cody coming out, Kevin Owens coming out? And what about that haluva kick to Cody Rhodes in the corner that just left Sami Zayn even go over and see if he was okay? He just stood next to Kevin Owens.
I think we're seeing, we're talking about more with Royal Rumble, and we'll get there when we get to the Cody Owens ladder match. I think we're seeing more and more of Sami may be on the cusp of a heel turn. Who knows, at the Elimination Chamber, we may see Sami going after Cody, and we'll talk about it when we get to Rumble because of the aftermath of the Royal Rumble. So who knows, it could be setting up. All of this could be leading to that spot, but you're right about that. Big haluva kick hit Cody. Sami seemed to not even care. And then after that, we saw Cody gear up, and we saw an amazing back and forth promo between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk to end Monday Night Raw. What did you think of that?
I think just so far, I know we just finished January this Friday, but so far I think just best promo of the year between these two men. I mean, just the back and forth, Punk laying everything out, but then the words that have just really stuck with me was when Punk said, see, I am going to be your friend. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to stab you in the front, and I'm coming for that championship. He's not going to stab him in the back like we've seen with Kevin Owens, like we've seen with other people in this weighing so far of Cody Rhodes, even AJ Styles, if we go back only last year. So I just thought it was great myself.
I agree with you. Amazing promo, and I do think it's been the best of the year. Now we head over to Tuesday night where we get high impact NXT wrestling, great action. We started off quick. We started off with Julia and Bayley against Roxanne and Cora Jade. What did you think of that match?
Awesome opener. I mean, it really did. It set the pace. This was branded NXT Center Stage live in Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, just awesome match. Cora got pinned, which Roxanne would point out later on in the show. And yeah, set up for a huge triple threat match at Vengeance Day, which I cannot wait for.
Next, I am completely with you on that. At NXT Vengeance Day, and as you know, recovery on here, we have Julia versus Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. Huge match. After this, we had the Grayson Waller effect with Obafemi, where Austin Theory and Grayson Waller had NXT champion Obafemi as a guest, and Trick Williams would end up coming out and interrupting as well. What did you think of that one?
Oh, good segment. Great setup. Set up for the crowd that's teasing it was in Austin Theory's hometown. They want them torn on Waller. Philly never really said no. Grayson dismissed it quick. But yeah, Trick's just mad. He wants that title. He don't care if he has to Oba or Grayson or Phil. He's just kind of, running amok at things. But I'm interested to see what this also setting up to go.
Next up, we had Trick take on Wesley. Wesley had a little jump start because Obafemi laid out Trick Williams after he hit him when he interrupted the Wallow effect. But it was a back and forth, really good match between Wesley and Trick Williams. What did you think about that match?
Oh, I have to agree. Wesley, like we were talking about, just so awesome. He just keeps moving up. Can't wait to see what he's going to do. I honestly believe we'll see him on the main roster sooner rather than later. Trick's anger got the best of him, got disqualified. So huge pickup, huge win for Wesley.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that puts him in some kind of title contention on NXT.
Yeah, possibly North American, possibly NXT. I mean, you're right. There are other possibilities, and Wesley's been really good too. Underrated part of NXT.
Exactly.
Then next up, we had Fallon Henley retain her Women's North American Championship against Shotzi Blackheart. After the match, we saw a stare down face-to-face between Stephanie Valcour and Fallon Henley. What did you think of this match for setup, everything?
Awesome match, great back and forth. Shotzi was gone for so long, and you just kind of forget like how underweight and how good Shotzi really is. And in heel fashion, Fallon picked up a victory. She retained her championship. And yeah, I can't wait to see Stephanie and Fallon at Vengeance Day. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, it's going to be a good match. And is it Stephanie's big chance? Does she finally get over that hump that she has not been able to get over since joining the NXT roster? We'll find out.
Exactly.
Next up, we had Cedric Alexander versus Ethan Page. After the match, Javon Evans would come out and try to get a little bit of payback on Ethan Page.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ethan Page has just been killing it. Great heel walk, great character walk. Cedric is not just so much underrated performer. He really is. I mean, he's athletic, technical wrestler. Doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, I believe. And great match. Ethan Page picking up the win. And Javon Evans is finally looking to get payback and even the score for Ethan Page. And I can't wait till when that happens either.
Yes, I think that's going to be a really good match. Up-and-coming star Evans and indie wrestling veteran Ethan Page. I think that'll be a great match.
I agreed, and I hope no matter the outcome, will launch Javon Evans to that next level, I believe, in NXT.
Yes, we found out that next week on NXT, we will have Trick Williams and Obafemi versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. That's going to be a big tag team match. And then we had speaking of big tag team matches, our main event of NXT, the women's tag title match between Bianca and Naomi against Jacal Jackson and Lash Legend. What do you think of this match?
Well, I just shout out. I mean, Lash Legend and Jacal Jackson just really stepped up. We know what Bianca and Naomi can do. They're tag champions. They're both main event performers, former world champions. But, man, just great showing, I think, for Lash Legend and Jacal Jackson. Just showing, hey, they can hang in there with two of the best in the company right now. And I think sky's the limit for these two. Great back-and-forth match. A couple close calls for the champs. But in the end, Bianca and Naomi pulled off a victory. Great main event. Like I said, you set the pace with the tag team match in women's division. You ended the night with a tag team match women's division. Just shows just how great the women's division in WWE is overall, and just even in NXT, their talent, just mixing up with main roster talent.
Yes, 100% true. And just Shawn Michaels has done an amazing job with that division and just walking up together and just building great storylines that we haven't seen and they have had the opportunity to get. Shawn's done a great job giving them just that.
Exactly, agreed.
And then we start SmackDown. We start SmackDown big. We have a CM Punk calling out Kevin Owens promo. What did you think of this one?
Oh man, I just completely awesome, completely unexpected. Kevin Owens got his interview like he wanted. He's cutting up Joe Tessitore, just typical Kevin Owens. Tessitore's lucky he was not almost power drivered, but CM Punk coming out pretty much in CM Punk's words, calling out Kevin Owens for his BS and everything he's been doing, and even Kevin Owens got some shots in, but at the end of it, Kevin Owens did not want to go in there and fight CM Punk.
He did not, no. Then we had what was teased last week on SmackDown. We had that Jimmy Uso Carmelo Hayes match, finally, it's been teased for a little bit, and I think it delivered. What did you think?
Agreed. Great. We've been seeing this new singles. One out of Jim Uso. I'm excited for it. I'm there for it. Carmelo just continues every week. I mean, seriously, this man's like, you could almost say in show stealers every week on SmackDown. This man is still in the show. Even if he's not winning the match, he's still going out there doing his best, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't think this rivalry's over just yet.
I don't think so either. Speaking of rivalries not over just yet, we had another chapter in the Meechin-Chelsea Green rivalry. Meechin would pick up a victory in the Women's United States title match, but was by disqualification. There has to be another match on this. What did you think?
Again, like I said, you can keep having these matches between Meechin and Chelsea. I won't grow tired, but I have a solution here. I say no disqualification, and I say you get rid of Piper Niven and even B-Fab, and I say you put these two women in a steel cage match for the Women's United States Championship, and then see who comes out with victory and see who wins.
I would be down for that. I think that'd be a great idea. Next up, we had Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. They had their sights set on Damian Priest. They were double teaming him. They were taking him down, handicapping him. LA Knight made the save. It made our SmackDown main event. What did you think of that segment, and why do you think Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga have their sights set on Damian Priest?
Great segment. Priest coming out, pretty much more so welcoming himself to SmackDown, more, talking on physically like he did last week against Melo. And I think it's Jacob Fatu. He said, he goes, I'm off the leash now. I just think that, hey, I took out this big dog in Strowman, and now this guy's over here. I think Fatu's just trying to take out his competition myself. I think he wants to be the monster presence on SmackDown, and just watch out Priest and Strowman, anyone that stands in this man's way.
Yes, I agree. This guy has he's most definitely a future, as Michael Cole would say, and we'll talk about it. At Royal Rumble, Michael Cole would see Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns and say that's a future WrestleMania main event, and I don't argue.
No, me either. Jacob Fatu is a phenomenal talent.
Next up, we had the Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza defeat DIY and Pretty Deadly. That was a really good, high-impact, 8-man tag team match. What did you think of it?
Exactly right. Athletic showing, high impact. But teams don't really like each other. Los Garza left from the Guns. A miscommunication between Ciampa made Pretty Deadly leave DIY. And in the end, the Guns picked up the victory over the champs.
Very good match. And then next up, we had Naomi and Liv Morgan. And after the match, we'd see, although Liv Morgan did not get the victory, her and Raquel Rodriguez would take down Bianca and Naomi, signaling that they want those tag titles, as you spoke on earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Great match. I think really underrated match. Naomi and Liv tore the house down, I believe. And yeah, just that foreshadow. And I think sooner rather than later, Raw or SmackDown, we're going to see that tag title match, I believe. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be an awesome match. Because right now, Liv and Raquel have been given the upper hand on the champs. Even like you said, Liv lost the match, but who was the last one standing?
Yeah, that's a great point. Next up, this is the match you talked to me about. You said after the match, it just showed both men can go and both men deserve more of an opportunity. Next up, we had Andrade versus The Miz. I agree with you. That was a very good match. And what's your full opinion on this?
Yeah, it was. It was an awesome match, and just completely Andrade's such a good wrestler. Again, I'd have to say another underrated one, in the fact that maybe it's his promos. And he's gone better. He's trying to learn English. He's trying to do better with his promos. But he can go when given him a chance. The Miz is such a great heel, such a great performer. I think you just forget how good The Miz is. You see he'll do the comedy skits. He'll go out there. He'll lose in 2 minutes. But when it's time to go, The Miz can go and have a good match with anyone. And yeah, I loved this match. I just really thought it was just a great showing and reminded everybody, hey, look what these two men can do and give him the time and give him that canvas to paint.
Yes, amazing breakdown of that match. Next up, we had Nia ambush and attack and take out Tiffany Stratton. She may not be champion anymore, but who really can stop Nia Jax?
No, exactly. That's a great point. Something we'll talk about later on. But yeah, no, she's just a monster. And I'm just a little. I have to ask your opinion on this too, because I'm just a little confused. I just want to know, Is Stratton a face, or are we doing a Hill versus Hill thing? Because we know Nia is for Bully, she's for Hill. Candice is for Little Lackey. But they keep ambushing Stratton. She's for champion, but she gets some, cheers, and she says almost some face stuff. So are we seeing that, or are we just seeing a Hill versus Hill? You think?
I think it's slow. I think they're trying to let it happen naturally, but I think eventually we'll build into the Stratton full-on face turn. I think that's why when her match against Bayley ended, it was she beat Bayley. She outperformed, outwrestled Bayley and beat her without cheating. I think we're trying to do that, and we're trying to get natural crowd reaction. Maybe taking a little bit longer than they expected because everybody cheered and wanted her to cash in, but the cheers have kind of slowed a little bit after she cashed in. So I don't know. I think before it's all said and done, we'll see that full-on face turn before she versus Nia again. What do you think?
I have to agree with that. I think that's a great assessment. And yeah, I think it's a slow burn. We're seeing how things are going because there are so many, different variables, so many different stories right now on Road to WrestleMania. You see where all the pieces fit in, but Nia's just a schoolyard bully in a sense. So.
Yes, that's true. Next up, we had our main event. I thought this match was amazing, and I know you did too. We had Damian Priest and LA Knight take down Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, but when it was all said and done and after the match, Jacob Fatu was the last man standing.
Yeah, again, awesome match. Again, Jacob Fatu's a beast. And I just want to say, people are saying, they're trying to have Roman on Raw, and you have Punk on Raw, and a speculation that Cody could jump over there because of Netflix fan this, and people are saying, they're trying to kill Smackdown. No, there are so many stars in WWE right now. I mean, you just look at from the roster up and down, and two future stars for a long time coming to WWE are LA Knight, Damian Priest, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. So no, great match, great back and forth. SmackDown will be fine even if you do move Cody to Raw. I don't know. I'm just speculating what people say, but it's in good hands, I think, because you have great stars that's going to carry the company going forward. And no, SmackDown is not being buried or hurt in any way. So any SmackDown fans out there, don't believe everything you read, and don't worry, SmackDown's in great hands going forward.
SmackDown is. You're completely right about that. Now we kick off what everybody's been waiting for. Now it was for Royal Rumble. We kicked off with the Women's Royal Rumble, and let me just throw this out here before we get started. Charlotte would win for Royal Rumble by eliminating Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez would become the Iron Woman, so to speak. She would break the record for the longest time lasted in a Women's Royal Rumble. She was in there for an hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. So now that I put that down there, what was your opinion on this Women's Royal Rumble? All the surprises, the return of Nikki Bella, the return of Alexa Bliss. What do you have on this match?
Oh man, just great. I mean, I love Royal Rumbles. I think most of us do. Most of us WWE fans, wrestling fans. And it was just fun. Yeah, like you said, Nikki Bella, she said, we'll see what's next. So it was your one-off. Alexa Bliss, like everyone was talking about, Michael Cole alluded to, the contract thing, is she gone? Is she? Nope, she's here. She's here to stay. I can't wait to see what happens going forward. I was reading on Facebook, someone said, what if we get a Bliss Liv Morgan rivalry? Sign me up. I'd love to see that.
That'd be a really good rivalry. Both women can really, really walk.
Jordan Grace's official debut, as Wade Barrett said, under the WWE banner now. I can't wait to see what she does going forward.
We also saw Trish Stratus in this Rumble. We saw Stephanie Valcour. We saw Julia. We saw even Jada Parker from NXT. We saw a lot of really cool, don't know if they'll be on the main roster for long, but just these women showing that they belong and they can be there right now.
Yeah, it's a great spotlight because as I believe it was Michael Cole pointed out, this was not Roxanne Perez's first Royal Rumble. She's been in there before. And, you get a little show what you can do on a bigger stage. But now, she said she is on the main roster. Was confirmed after it. Said she'll see what she does. So, shout out Roxanne. But, yeah, Julia, I don't know. I don't see her losing that title anytime soon. Valcour may add a championship before she leaves NXT. Jada Parker, great talent. Anyone that's watching NXT, great character, great work, great performer. I think those three might be staying in NXT for a little bit longer. Just my prediction. And I actually have a question, though. What about Jordan Grace? Do you think she goes up to the main roster show, or do you think she's there? But Julia eliminated her. So do you think we see something there? Do you think maybe she goes NXT? Force is her force destination. Where do you think we see Jordynne Grace?
I'm gonna call seeing Jordynne Grace after that triple threat at Vengeance Day for NXT. I'm gonna call Julia retains and she comes out and she confronts her. But that's just my prediction, but it could be wrong. But like you said, Julia did eliminate her. I think there's something there.
I think possibly stand and deliver match myself. I agree with that sentiment. And congratulations, Charlotte. Comes back, been over a year in action. She doesn't look like she's missed a step. On time, on cue with everything. The Queen won the Royal Rumble. And yeah, I think we might see that Stratton match, but her and Rhea at WrestleMania's knocked it up 1-1. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless to see what the Queen's decision will be.
That's very true. Next up, we had the Machine Guns and DIY 2 out of 3 falls match. I thought really good match. A little bit of a confusing ending, but Michael Cole broke it down when the Street Profits would interfere. Michael Cole said what they were doing is they would just take it out, the competition, the challengers for the tag titles, because they want those belts. They know dang well DIY is the ones who took them out and ruined them from getting their shots, but they took them out, so they are next. They pretty much said we got next.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome match. Great back and forth. Happy to see the Machine Guns have official pay-per-view debuts in WWE.
Congratulations on that.
And yeah, DIY, all those guys can deliver. And yeah, happy to see the Street Profits back. Haven't seen them in a few months. Great return. And yeah, like you said, Michael Cole said, hey, you know, like you said, we got next. We are getting revenge by taking those tag titles. We're not just getting revenge on them, and no one else is taking those tag titles before we do. So yeah, a great message sent, and DIY is going to have their hands full with returning Street Profits because they are not happy.
That's true. Next up, we had the big match. We talked about this a lot last week and weeks prior. The big ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Huge match. I thought was just amazing action and a lot of hard-hitting action, and it delivered. It gave us everything we were expecting and more. Ended when Cody Rhodes would use an Alabama slam on Kevin Owens through a ladder, and it did not look like Kevin Owens landed too well. But we'd also see Sami Zayn out there to check on his friend, like, is this building to something?
Yeah, exactly. A great match, just bowling shoe ugly, as Jim Ross would say. Great back and forth. Just really, it's how you set a grudge, how you set a blood feud. Just these guys wanted to kill each other. They wanted to win, but at the same point, they just wanted to kill each other. Sami Zayn, I mean, I almost thought that he was going to maybe come and push that ladder down, but no, he was just checking on his friend. But he was eyeing Cody too, so I'd be great to see where that develops. Punk warned Kevin Owens. I don't think Kevin Owens really, I think Kevin Owens underestimated the lengths Cody was willing to go to keep that championship and how mad he made Cody. But no one should underestimate the American Nightmare's dark side after that Alabama slam.
That was true.
It was one of the best ladder match finishes I've seen in a long time.
Next up, we had the Men's Royal Rumble. This one we would see, it would start off all-star caliber. It would start off with two of the greatest luchadors, I would say, ever. We had Penta and we had Rey Mysterio, and it would just keep going from there. At one point, you had John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, all in the ring at the same time, Drew McIntyre. It was just amazing match, amazing action. It just, in my opinion, great. And then we would see Jey Uso fall over John Cena to get that moment, and the whole world was yeeting after that one. What did you think?
Oh, just awesome, like you said. Great Rumble, great show. Like you said, started off big. You built up and you got to that, like someone was saying, the Avengers, like, of WWE in ring, and just so many stars. Logan Paul really had a great showing. I mean, he eliminated CM Punk, AJ Styles. Great to see AJ Styles back.
That's true.
He's one of my favorites. Happy to see him in there.
And the longest time in the Men's Royal Rumble was Penta at 42 minutes and 5 seconds.
What an awesome Rumble debut for Penta. Seriously, the sky's the limit for this guy. Finn Balor would throw him over. Joe Hendry made a nice appearance. Was doing his thing until Jacob Fatu took issue And Sheamus took issue of Jacob Fatu because he was just enjoying the show. And then Joe Hendry went against the Tribal Chief. It didn't end well for him, but still great showing. First time, I believe, TNA World Heavyweight Champion men's has ever been in a Royal Rumble. So shout out to Mr. Hendry for that.
And Joe Hendry said that he does not think this will be the last time him and Roman Reigns cross paths. And he also said he's calling out John Cena.
John Cena's a farewell tour. Why not you do something you've never done and challenge for the TNA World Championship? I'd love to see it.
I'd be down.
It's John Cena. It's awesome, bittersweet. I mean, as you two, as kids, we grew up watching John Cena, just enjoying this every moment. The farewell tour of his last Rumble. Still remember watching live the 2008 Royal Rumble, being in shock. You're like, oh, he's back already, and but just great, awesome to see it. And Jey Uso, man, the story's building. He has not beat Gunther. He wants him. He wants Gunther. He said he wants Gunther. Gunther said, I would do that if I was you, but I just can't wait. Yuto Mania, I think, is going to be a real thing.
So what do you have for our match of the week? We just so everybody knows out there, we aren't including Royal Rumbles. We talked about this. You can't include a Royal Rumble because it's automatically going to win a match of the week. But what do you have?
Exactly. Rumble's a Rumble. But, man, we have... we had some awesome matches this week. I have to go with Drew and Sammy for more. A great main event, great back and forth pace. I have to go on NXT with 2 matches for women's tag team match to kick off with Bayley and Julia against Roxanne and Cora Jade. I have to go with the main event of Bianca and Naomi against Jacal and Lash Legend. Then on Smackdown, I have to do 2 matches. There's a lot of matches, but we just had some really awesome matches this week. I have to go Andrade, Miz. I have to go Priest, LA Knight against Fatu and Tamatanga. And I have to go, I have Royal Rumble. I have to go that ladder match between Cody and Kevin Owens. All great matches, but I will have to say Cody and Kevin Owens, we've waited over a month for this match. And the payoff was great. The match delivered, and that's just how you do it. And like I said, the Alabama Slam through the ladder was nasty, and it showed, hey, don't make the American Nightmare go to that point because he can and he will. And Kevin Owens found that out the hard way. Shout out to everyone involved. But yes, I have to give match of week to Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens.
I love it. We even picked different. I would pick the same. That was an amazing match. And for going all the way back, we kicked off, as we always say, Royal Rumble kicks off for Road to WrestleMania. So for this, we're going to go with a WrestleMania for this match to go back and watch. We're going to go WrestleMania 19. Not a match a lot of people talk about, but I'm going to talk about it, and you should too. You should go back and watch this match. Yes, I'm talking about Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Underrated, in my opinion, show still. Amazing match between 2 legends. Even back then, they were both on the cusp of being legends. Shawn already was, but Jericho was getting there. And now looking back on it, you saw 2 Hall of Famers. No matter if Jericho is in the Hall of Fame or not, he's still a Hall of Fame talent. And you saw both of them against each other.
Exactly. Great match. Really, like when Shawn Michaels first came back that August, was still trying to find himself in that match. It's like, yeah, he's still the showstopper. He's still the show stiller, Mr. WrestleMania. And yeah, Chris Jericho is just always awesome. He said he may never accept going to the Hall of Fame, but regardless, we all know he's a Hall of Famer. We all know he's one of the best to ever do it.
That's very
true.
So
that is an awesome match.
Thank you for joining us on Jackal's Wrestling Entertainment Pod, and thank you for watching our Royal Rumble breakdown. I'm Caleb, and this is
Jeremiah.
Join us next week as well.